right. I was looking for my wand. I'm ready to work on our contemporary realistic presentation.
No. Tammy, do you have any idea what contemporary realistic fiction is?
Well, yeah, I mean, Harry Potter takes place in England in the 21st century. That's contemporary and real, right? How much more contemporary and real can you get?
Well, actually, Tammy, magic isn't real.
What? Are you sure?
Oh, here's a tissue. Come on, calm down. We can explain. It's
Contemporary realistic fiction, according to Nielsen and Donaldson, is writing about young adults with real-world settings in historical periods not far removed from our own.
But...
Repeat after me, Tammy. Hogwarts is not a real place. Hogwarts is not a real place.
I'm so confused. Do you think you could explain some more, please?
Yes, we will. We will.
And Harry has problems?
Harry's not the only one with problems. These novels may deal with problems that teens have, like with peer groups.
You mean kind of the way Slytherin and Gryffindor don't get along?
Sort of, but it's what takes place in an actual middle or high school. Here are some examples.
Some Girls Are by Courtney Summers. Regina used to be at the top of the popularity ladder, but vicious rumors have caused her to fall to the bottom. She is now the victim of the bullying she used to participate in. She finds an unlikely ally in Michael Hayden, the school misfit with a tragic past. Friendship doesn't come easy for these one-time enemies. Readers will be on the edge of their seats as this dark tale moves toward an explosive ending. Hate List by Jennifer Brown. 5 months ago, Valerie Luckman's boyfriend, Nick, opened fire on their school cafeteria. Even though she was shot trying to stop him, Valerie was implicated in the shootings because of the list she helped create, a list of people and things she and Nick hated, the list he used to pick his targets. Val is forced to confront her guilt as she returns to school to complete her senior year. She must come to grips with the tragedy that took place and her role in it in order to make amends and move on with her life.
Or they can also deal with family relationships and their problems.
Like the Weasleys?
Yeah, but normally the problems are a little bit more realistic.
Like these.
Fixing Delilah by Sarah Auckland. Things in Delilah Hannaford's life have a tendency to fall apart. She used to be a good student. Her boyfriend isn't much of a boyfriend, and her mother refuses to discuss the fight that divided their family 8 years ago. Over a summer of new friendships, unexpected romance, and moments that test the complex bonds between mothers and daughters, Delilah must face her family's painful past. Can even her most shattered relationships be pieced together again? Not Like You by Deborah Davis. Kayla's mom calls their moves starting a new chapter. Each time it's the same. Marilyn promises to stop drinking, breaks her promise, and they're off again. This time something feels different. Kayla is putting down roots, starting her own dog walking business and spending time with Remy, a 24-year-old musician. He's her refuge from Marilyn's daily struggle with sobriety. But Kayla is only 15. Does an older man really offer Kayla the refuge she needs?
Oh, like the Cullens, or when Bella Swan moves to live with her dad in Forks.
Well, yes, except no one's a vampire and they don't sparkle.
Some novels deal with problems that come from living in a multicultural world.
You mean like Muggles and Half-Bloods and Full-Bloods?
Well, no, more like different races, religions, ethnicities, socio-economic levels, and the problems that arise with different people and different ideas when they all come together.
Lockdown by Walter D. Myers. It seems as if the only progress that's going on at Progress Juvenile Facility is moving from juvie jail to real jail. Then Reese gets a second chance when he's picked for the work program at a senior citizens home. He doesn't mean to keep messing up, but it's not so easy at Progress or in life. One of the residents, Mr. Hoof, gives him a particularly hard time. If he can convince Mr. Hoof that he's a decent person, not a criminal, maybe he'll be able to convince himself. Perfect Chemistry by Simone Elkeles. Brittany's forced to be lab partners with Alex Fuentes, a gang member from the other side of town, and he is about to threaten everything she's worked so hard for: her flawless reputation, her relationship with her boyfriend, and the secret that her home life is anything but perfect. Alex makes a bet with his friends to lure Brittany into his life. But soon Alex realizes Brittany is a real person with real problems, and suddenly the bet he made in arrogance turns into something much more. This is a passionate story about looking beneath the surface and breaking through the stereotypes and barriers that threaten to keep Brittany and Alex apart.
And finally, there are problem novels that deal with the changes or problems in your body when you become a teen.
Oh, sort of like the way Harry found out he was a wizard when he turned 12.
Yeah, but unfortunately, no one sends you a letter to invite you to puberty school when you turn 12.
Stupid Fast by Jeff Herbat. Felton Reinstein used to be small, but during his sophomore year, he can't stop eating and he can't stop growing. Suddenly, he is outrunning all the jocks on the football team. Felton never thought he'd be a jock, but when his friend Gus leaves for the summer, he finds himself dealing with new friends, a new girl, and his mother's nervous breakdown. But nothing can prepare him for the secret from his past. Flawless by Laura Chapman. Sarah Burke is just about perfect. She's got killer blue eyes, gorgeous blonde hair, and impeccable grades. There's just one tiny, enormous flaw: her nose. On the first day of her senior year, she falls for haughty Rock Conway, but so does her best friend. So, of course, a girl has to help her best friend, right? Besides, Rock couldn't like her with her huge nose. This hip retelling of Cyrano de Bergerac is filled with hilariously misguided matchmaking, sweet romance, and a gentle reminder that we should all embrace our flaws.
Okay, I'm starting to understand. It's sort of like Harry's girl problems and his friend problems, except there's no invisibility cloak when you get embarrassed.
Yes!
Oh, this sounds so depressing. Doesn't anyone have fun outside of Hogwarts?
Of course! You've forgotten the second part of our definition.
Yeah, remember the more optimistic novels.
The difference in these books is that the problems are not as serious as in the problem novels, and there is a force or individual in the story who helps the young person through the experience.
For example, there are romantic quest novels.
Yowza! You mean like Ron and Hermione?
Well, no, don't let the word romantic throw you off. These are really books more like a quest of sorts. More like the young person searching for something or someone or deeper meaning.
Oh, I know, like Harry's search for the Horcruxes.
Except there aren't any real things that are found. It's more like a quest for ideas or feelings. Although there's often a trip or move involved, it's about trying to find yourself instead of finding things.
Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. Anna is looking forward to her senior year in Atlanta, so she is less than thrilled about being shipped off to boarding school in Paris until she meets Etienne St. Clair. Perfect, Parisian, and utterly irresistible. The only problem is that he's taken, and Anna might be too, if anything comes of her almost relationship back home. As winter melts into spring, will a year of romantic near misses end with the French kiss Anna and readers have long awaited? Dash and Lily's Book of Dares by Rachel Kahn and David Levithon. Lily has left a red notebook full of challenges on a favorite bookstore shelf, waiting for just the right guy to come along and accept its dares. But is Dash that right guy? Or are Dash and Lily only destined to trade dares, dreams, and desires in the notebook they pass back and forth at locations across New York? Could their in-person selves possibly connect as well as their notebook versions? Or will they be a comic mismatch of disastrous proportions? Amy and Roger's Epic Detour by Morgan Matson. It's bad enough that her mom is moving her from California to Connecticut, but Amy can't believe she has to go with Roger, the son of her mom's best friend, whom she hasn't seen in years. So she's surprised to find herself developing a crush on him. She's also coming to terms with her father's death and how to put her own life back together after the accident. Told in traditional narrative as well as scraps from the road, diner napkins, motel receipts, postcards, this is the story of one girl's journey to find herself.
Oh, that sounds like fun. I don't even have to take the Hogwarts Express.
Or there are books about love and friendship that are more lighthearted. They're not overly romantic, not overly sexy. Normally, boys and girls just like to read them.
Well, there's not a whole lot that's lighthearted in Harry Potter, unless you count the Weasley twins.
The Lonely Hearts Club by Elizabeth Eulberg. Penny is sick of boys and sick of dating, so she vows no more. It's a personal choice, and of course, soon everyone wants to know about it, and a few other girls are inspired. A movement is born, the Lonely Hearts Club. Penny is suddenly known for her non-dating ways, which is too bad, because there's this certain boy she can't help but like. Wolves, Boys, and Other Things That Might Kill Me by Kristen Chandler. KJ loves the outdoors, but when she gets assigned to a newspaper report on the Yellowstone wolves with handsome Virgil, she's not so sure that it's a good idea. But as KJ spends time with Virgil, she also spends more time getting to know a part of her world that she always took for granted, and she begins to see herself and her town in a whole new light. Swoon at Your Own Risk by Sydney Salter. Polly's grandmother is moving in, and Polly can't wait. After all, her grandmother is none other than dating advice columnist Miss Swoon. But Polly has given up on boys, and there's no way she can forget about Xander, her crush, when Grandma is picking up men everywhere she goes. Looks like Polly will have to figure out on her own if she can fall in love and still be true to herself.
And finally, there are the wish-fulfilling stories.
Wait a minute. You said that magic isn't real. That means there are no fairy godmothers either.
Well, they're not wish-fulfilling like Cinderella and all that kind of stuff for the girls. They're stories about friendship, for love, for the boys. They're normally about sports, adventure-related, but a lot of times these stories are just a bit stretched reality-wise.
The Espressologist by Kristen Springer. While working as a barista in a local coffee shop, Jane takes notes on the type of people that order each drink. She starts matching up some of her friends with some of the customers based on their favorite drinks, and her espressology works. Her boss wants to use it to promote the store. Soon, Jane is matchmaking with total strangers. Too bad she couldn't see the perfect match for herself that was right in front of her coffee cup. A Match Made in High School by Kristen Walker. Fiona's school has decided to do a year-long marriage education program. Fiona can't believe it when she has to marry jerky jock Todd. Even worse, Todd's cheerleader girlfriend Amanda is paired up with the boy Fiona secretly likes. Pranks, fights, misunderstandings, and reconciliations ensue in an almost Shakespearean comedy of errors about mistaken first impressions, convoluted coupling, and hidden crushes.
Wow! I've been missing out on a lot of good books by only reading Harry Potter and Twilight.
That's right.
And if you're interested in more contemporary realistic books, there are some authors that write a lot of them.
For example, John Green, Laurie Halse Anderson, Walter Dean Myers, Meg Cabot, and Sarah Dessen. These authors are all well known for their great contemporary realistic fiction novels.
You know, of course, many authors today, they're starting to mix the contemporary realistic with fantasy elements. For example, Twilight by Stephenie Meyer is really a modern problem novel, but she slips in some vampires as well.
Oh, okay.
This is probably why you were confused, Tammy. After all, you're right. Harry does live in England in the 21st century. The problem is that no one really plays Quidditch.
Oh, I wish they did. Oh well. Thanks a lot, guys. You really cleared this up. I'm not confused anymore, you know? I hate to run, but I've got dinner with Edward and Jacob, and then afterwards we're going cliff diving in La Push. See ya.
I give up.
I give up. Greg.
Cut!
I am so glad that's over.
Me
I
and you both.
time to get my new
Me
robe
too.
on.
I gotta get this sweater off.
Oh,
What are you wearing?
It's my brand new robe.
For the Harry Potter robe?
Yes.
Hey,
I got it from Hogwarts.
check out the Twilight thing. What do you think?
Your secret is safe
Hey.
with me.
You got it. No problem. We'll never tell Tammy.
You can borrow this if you like.
Hey, need my t-shirt? It's yours.
Thank you.